Good morning. Yes, the sun is shining again. I'm headed out for a walk actually to meet a friend. It has been a while since I have met this friend, so I'm excited to see her and take in a little bit of it. Oh, there's my crosses beating up my phone again. To get some vitamin D in my life. Although I'm not getting that much because I'm all covered up. Just my face probably will get a little bit where my glasses aren't hitting me. But anyway, today I wanted to talk about closing costs and who pays them and how they are kind of distributed and how that works. So there's a lot of different closing costs, and different parties pay different closing costs. There's buyer closing costs, seller closing costs. And they can be paid by whomever. I don't know which is correct. I guess it doesn't really matter. You might not know either, so don't correct me. If you do know, don't correct me. So as a buyer, we've been talking a lot about buyer side. So as a buyer, when you are purchasing a home, and we might have touched on this a little bit, you'll have your own buyer closing costs. And if you are really scraping together your change to try to come up with your own down payment. So for instance, if you need to come up with 3% of a down payment, and we talked about this in a previous video, then you may possibly not have the funds to come up with your own closing costs. And each lender or bank charges different amount for closing costs. So it could be $3,000, it could be $4,500, it could be a percentage of the purchase price. It all depends on who you're working with and what their, we'll call it behind the scenes fees are. So that's something that you want to look into when you get your loan. How much are your closing costs and how much is it going to cost me? So you can ask the seller and try to negotiate that into the contract when you write your offer. Now, in this market that we are working and living in currently, in the seller's market, it's very difficult to get the seller to pay your closing costs because you want a very clean offer. So coming in and offering a certain price for a house and then asking them to pay your closing costs takes away your bargaining power. So you have to go above and beyond the price that's listed and ask for the closing costs to be negotiated. That way the seller still gets the same net figure. But people are already going above and beyond the list price. So then you have to go above and beyond that. So it's kind of difficult right now to get your closing costs paid. People are doing it. It's just difficult because now you're overpaying for the house just to get those closing costs paid. So you may have to come up with that cash to get that done. So kind of explains buyers' closing costs in a nutshell. Sellers have their own set of closing costs, and seller closing costs are going to be more like document preparation fees with the title company. They're going to pay for sellers. Typically, sellers will pay for title insurance for the buyer and for themselves. Title insurance is probably the more expensive of the closing costs. And then, of course, the seller will typically pay for the real estate commission because they have their house listed. And the seller will typically pay both sides of that real estate commission, which we've talked about. If they list their home with us, for instance, and I list it for a 6% commission, they're going to pay 6% to Better Homes and Gardens, Big Hill, for me to list their home. And then if I sell it, I'm going to retain that 6% commission. If another real estate company or brokerage comes in and sells it, bringing the buyer to me, I'm going to share that 6% commission. I'm going to cut it in half and give them the 3%, and I'm going to retain the 3%. So that would be part of their closing costs, quote unquote. There's document preparation fees with the title company, many different things behind the scenes. So when we go on a listing appointment or we go talk to a seller about what is it going to cost to sell my home, we give them a breakdown or a seller or a net to seller proceeds sheet, which is electronic. In my world, that's what I do, is send it to them electronically via email while I'm sitting with them. and break it down. You know, here's the selling price. Here's what it would cost you to sell your home with all of your fees. And after you pay off your mortgage, maybe you have a first, maybe you have a second mortgage, maybe you don't. After you sell everything, or I'm sorry, after you pay off everything and you sell your home and you pay all your fees, here's what you walk away with cash in hand. Now, can I give them an exact figure? No way. But can I give them a very close figure? Yes, indeed. So I give them an estimate of what I think they could walk away with. So on the seller end, that's how that works. And then I always tell them, by the way, you may possibly be asked by the buyer to pay for their closing costs and negotiate that in the contract. So just be aware and don't freak out if the buyer asks you to pay $3,000 of their closing costs, but you can negotiate that in the contract. So I always kind of give them a little bit of a foreshadowing that that could happen, so that they don't get offended or think that that's odd, because some sellers are not aware that the buyer might ask for that. So I would let them know that ahead of time. But that kind of explains closing costs, who, what, where, when, and how, because I feel like I get that question a lot, like, wait, what do you mean? I have closing costs too? Yeah, everybody has them, and they're pretty expensive. So you always have them. It's just a matter of who's going to pay them. Who is going to pay them? Is it coming out of your pocket, or are you going to ask the seller to pay for them? So hopefully that's clear as mud. Hopefully you have a great day. I am, like I said, going out for a walk today. Whew, I did a killer cardio workout with my class last night that I taught. Like, literally almost died, but it's my fault because I over-caffeinated. I didn't eat enough food. So I seriously thought I was gonna vomit, possibly pass out at the same time. And then I did an excruciating leg workout directly following that. And my legs are killing me, especially my hamstrings. So this walk is going to feel really good. I need to loosen up because I need to break up that lactic acid because I am super, super sore today. But yeah, so that's what I've got on my docket. Literally, that's it. I'm walking today. Should feel really good. I'm looking forward to it. But that's it. That's my schedule. I have looked at my hot sheet for the record just to see if anything's hit the market today. Nothing that hits from my buyers. There's not a lot new coming on the market today, unfortunately. There are some things that have hit, but nothing in my neck of the woods or anything that fits any of my buyers' criteria. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Soak in the sunshine and enjoy it as best you can. Adios.